Hi, my name's Kamana and welcome to Holistic Nomads TV, where ancient wisdom and modern science can help you to have more clarity and energy in your life. Today's class is about the nails and assessing your own nails, and we can look at how the body is working inside. Traditional medicine often has this take where they look at what's called the microcosm in the macrocosm, which means we can look at something small and we can get an understanding of the bigger within that. So in this context, we'll be looking at the nails and we can get an understanding of what's happening inside the body. When we have this sort of philosophy, not only is it very useful for health and assessment, yet it's also great because it helps to create a unification response inside the body and the mind. We see something in the small and then we see it in the big again and we go, oh, it's similar, it's the same as me. So it's a very wholesome way to look at life, and it's starting to become more and more proven through quantum physics, this holographic universe, that within a small amount, the larger is reproducible. Within every part of my body, there are genes that could tell me about and express the whole of my body as well. So as we start to talk about this, the main thing to be really aware of is that we don't diagnose because of the nails. We assess, we have visual cues, and they give us clues towards further testing, further research, other areas of the body that we might want to examine. So these signs that we're looking at are not a diagnosis, they are clues towards. They're giving us, likelihood of checking this sort of imbalance. And when we view it in that way, they can be really useful, leading us towards more self-awareness and catching imbalances at very early signs before they start to present as something more serious. So in Ayurveda, there's two main ways that we use the nails to assess. The first one is known as Prakriti, or your constitution, your dominant body-mind type. So we look at that into three different doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. When we assess Prakriti within the nails, Vata will have more of a dry, rough sort of feeling to the texture of the nail. It may be hard in its consistency and there's an irregular shape, often more of a rectangular, long and thin, or some form of irregularity to the nails. Pitta will have more of a soft yet pliable nature to it. It's still strong, it doesn't break as easy, the brittleness that's often found with the Vata type nail. There's more of a redness towards a Pitta nail, indicating the strong circulation that's present with Pitta. And sometimes there's a little bit of a triangle nature where it's a bit more open, fanning out on the top and coming into a little bit more of a base. The triangle shape is something that we may see in multiple parts with a more Pitta dominant person. Triangular nose features, triangular face, these may denote more fire. The Kapha nail, the main thing is that it's larger. The actual size of the nail will be a larger surface area that it covers. There'll also be a thickness to the nail, making it stronger, and there'll be symmetry that's there, sometimes more of a square type nail. The square shape is associated with the earth element, so we may see more of a square shape, thickness, heaviness within the hand and particularly within the nail, denoting a Kapha Prakriti constitution. The second way that Ayurveda uses the nails to assess is what's known as Vikriti, our present imbalance. And in this regard, we need to look at what is the primary imbalance that the nails lead us towards. We need to look, when we examine any part of these reflex zones in the body, what is their primary avenue? As an example, when we examine the eyes, the primary thing that it's assessing is the nervous system. So although we can see the whole body through iridology in the eyes, it's looking at the nervous system's relationship to the body. And when we examine the tongue, the primary relationship is digestion, metabolism, circulation. It's looking at the digestion's relationship to the whole body. And although we can see the whole body there, it's looking primarily from that angle. When we look at the nails are a mala. In Sanskrit, this means a waste product. They are a mala of the asti dhatu, the bone tissue. So this gives us an indication that the nails primarily indicate the health of the bones, and if we look in modern understanding, also mineral imbalances in the body. So particularly if there are deficiencies in certain minerals or excess in some of the metals of the body, cadmium, mercury, aluminum, then they will start to present as signs within the nails. So just with that in mind, we're going to move move in towards more specific imbalance signs here, yet we think, oh, it's affecting mineral imbalance. It could be heavy metals, deficiency in minerals, or some form in the bone mineral world that we're seeing the imbalance, and then it's starting to affect the rest of the system through that relationship. So the first specific sign I'm going to look at is bitter nails. When we see that there's almost no white to the top of the nail, and the nail has likely been bitten or cut back excessively, that shows some form of nervous nature to the person. There's some anxiety that's there. This is usually associated with Vata in Ayurveda. So we'd start to look at all the things that could be imbalancing Vata. There could also be deficiencies of magnesium, as magnesium is used a lot when we're in anxious and stressful states. So we may need to test further and discover what sort of Vata imbalance. Check the other videos to see how you can balance Vata if you've got bitten nails or you've got children that tend to bite their nails, and see all the different ways that you could help to balance Vata to decrease that tendency. Because one, it's not a good habit for the hygiene of the body as well, chewing on the nails, and two, it's showing a deeper sign of nervous system aggravation. The next most common sign that I see a lot is ridges or steps within the nails. When I say ridges, we're looking at long ways. They're running in the same direction that the nail runs. This is ridges. And when I say steps, we're looking at some degrees of sideways type stepped surface that's moving through there. Both of these indicate something that's going wrong within the digestion of the body. The first one, ridges, is much more common, and this indicates a malabsorption, that the body is not digesting and absorbing the nutrients well. The next one, steps, is more indicative of malnutrition. So this malabsorption has gone on for long enough that now the tissues in the body have become deficient in nutritional things, and particularly we'd be looking at minerals that are the most likely things that are deficient here, because it's the bone tissue there. Yet it could be many areas that could be deficient. So we'd look at digestive system, and although there's many ways we could treat the digestive system within Ayurveda, you could do our Agni type test and define and narrow in on that. You could also look at some digestive helpers, some fennel seeds, etc. Yet I would focus on using naturopathic medicine here and functional medicine. An organic acids test will really specifically get to the point of what is going on inside the digestive system and why you're not absorbing and utilizing your foods properly. If you're interested in that, you can contact us and we can order an organic acids test and have it sent out to you. The next most common sign I see is white spots in the nails. White spots are indicative of a mineral deficiency inside the body. This is very specific for mineral deficiency, whereas the last signs we've seen digestive imbalance, and because it's the nail, it could be leading towards that. Now we're seeing a sign on the nail that is also indicating mineral deficiency. This is the most specific sign for some form of mineral imbalance inside the body. Here we'd be looking at the main minerals of magnesium, calcium, zinc, and sometimes vitamin K, because it's so influential on the formation of the bones and how minerals move inside the body. If you want to get more specific on which mineral and you're not just shooting hit and miss, then I do a hair tissue mineral analysis, and that'll narrow in on specifically which areas you may need to supplement or work with. If you're getting a combination of those, you're getting the ridges in the nails, then treat that first, because maybe as soon as you start to treat the digestive system, you'll start to absorb the minerals better and the white spots will naturally go away. If you don't want to invest the money in a hair tissue mineral analysis, then you could start with magnesium. It's really the do no harm supplement, magnesium. Get a good source of magnesium like magnesium citrate, and then you could start supplementing with a very small amount of that each day, and that might help the white spots and other areas of the body really well. However, if you are interested in the hair tissue mineral analysis, you can email us on admin@kamana.com and we'll help you further with getting a test sent out to you. The next most common sign that I see is pale nails. When we see pale nails on the body, so more of a white, not much of an orange reddish towards the nail bed that's there, it's an indicative of two things. Either one is poor circulation, And if there is poor circulation, then you'll generally always get cold hands that will come with it, a tendency towards a cooler hands that will indicate there. The second one is anemia, that the body is deficient within iron and it's not able to carry the nutrition within the blood to keep a lot of oxygen within the blood and get that out. If there is signs of anemia, then you'll usually also see this in other parts of the body as well. So within the eyes, you may be able to just look at the blood circulation underneath the eye there, and if it's quite pale as well, that's another indication towards anemia. If the tongue is very pale and doesn't have a lot of color to it, that's another indication towards anemia. Again, these are all just possible signs towards you need to get tests to really know accurately, or work with a health professional that can really assess your whole case and see whether or not that seems specific for you. The next sign we're looking at is yellowness. If we see that the nail bed or the nail itself is starting to have a little bit more of a yellow color, then this indicates some form of pitta buildup in the body. It's usually related to the liver, and when we see this in modern medicine, they would say conditions like jaundice, blockage throughout the liver that then backlogs a lot of toxins within the body. It will present with a yellowing of the nails. If it is indicated that the liver is imbalanced, we'll usually see it within the eyes as well. Some form of yellowing or redness within the sclera, the white part of the eye, will also present. There's two ways that this could be presenting. This could be a constitutional thing where the body is naturally more of a delicate liver, high pitta, and the body naturally makes more pitta byproducts. Or the other one could be toxic excess because of overload from our environment, smoking, nicotine, lots of heavy deep fried foods, alcohol, etc. These things overload the blood and the liver, and then we'd see this yellowing of the nails. So real priority to clean out the blood and purify excess pitta from the body if we're seeing this yellowing of the nails. The last sign, if you see that one part of the nail bed has a much darker color to it and it wasn't there before, then this is much more of a serious sign that should be checked straight away. Things like melanomas and cancers, they sometimes start at the base of the nail bed and then they'll start to move up through. Now, there's no reason to freak out. It's just straight away, get it tested, find out more. We don't want to sit around for a long period. If there's dark spots within the nails, they could indicate something much more serious of a Vata type derangement in nature. Now, I really want to summarize and emphasize the point here. Just because you have a nail sign does not mean that the condition is present in your body. It gives us a good indication towards, yet it's not a certainty of. So use all of these as suggestions to investigate further and inquire whether or not your body might need some extra balance. With each one of these different imbalances in the body, they'll often associate with a dosha, they'll often need to work with the digestive system, and you can see lots of other classes within our YouTube channel here where you may be able to get more specific advice and education on how to balance those areas of the body. So use these as tools to go, oh, maybe that's the direction that I need to focus on the most. I'd like to also appreciate the lineage here, and a lot of this information comes from Vasant Lad and his book on Ayurveda and clinical diagnosis. It's textbook number volume 2. So thank you, Vasant Lad, for your knowledge and what you've shared with the world. I hope this class has been beneficial for you, and if it has, maybe share it with others who it could also help out too. If you've got any questions for something personal related to yourself, then we'd love to help you out and create some specific steps on your path to health. You can submit your questions on holisticnomads.com/ask, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube below so you'll be notified when your question is answered. Until next time, all the best. Hi everyone. No, I've already said hi at the beginning, don't I? Because I just go straight into today's class.
Today's class.
Yeah.